Functional components are basically equivalent in React, and basically they serve the same purpose as class components, but they are slightly easier to work with and slightly easier to manage and maintain when it comes to large projects. Let's write the same thing using a functional component. I import React from React. This import React is needed for this JSX syntax to work. Otherwise, all these Babel syntax I'm writing, that won't work. Whenever you write a JSX file, this import is almost mandatory, import React. Now let's build the same. Now for writing functional components, another concept of React comes into place called React hooks. So let's create a React hook. What React hook is basically, I showed you class components first because I wanted you to understand the concept of state. Every component has a state that it can manage. So in class components, state is just one entity. But in functional components, you can manage it separately using the useState function that you can get from React. Let's import useState. Then this is how you use the state. Find the variable and you define a function that will be using to change that variable. And then inside useState, you have to give the initial value of that variable. Let's give it the initial name as Bulbasaur, and let's replace this dot state as just Pokemon name. Since this is not a class, we don't need to use this name. Now initially, Bulbasaur is the initial value. Now what if I need to change it? And why am I using useState, and why am I using a separate function to change the name instead of just assigning it? How React works is, if you have went through the concept of virtual DOM, it actually React is very good in performance because it only reloads the parts of the page that have changed and not the entire application whenever a new action happens. How does it know that? It knows that by using these state functions. So to actually re-render your application, for it to actually have some change, you have to trigger something that changes the state of the application. If you just change variables, that won't work. So if you just set, say, name is equal to Charizard, that won't actually work. So the correct way to do is you use the function that your useState gives you. You will use that inside use effect. Now we're calling set name inside use effect, and inside this we'll set the value to be, and now it's changed to Pikachu. So let's see what happened here. We took the state and we initialized it to Bulbasaur as the name. That was the real value of the name variable. What the use effect function does is, whenever there's a change in state, so this is like all of the lifecycle methods combined. So when you have state, you will have functions like component did update, component mounted, component destroyed, many different things. Inside functional component, you just have one thing, use effect. So whenever a state changes, it changes the application. When you set the name to this, the state of the same variable changed and the application reloaded. Now let's get back to our application and break down the other things into various components, because this still looks ugly and we can break it down into more components. So what is another component we can use? That can be a title bar. This is something to remember about React components. When you render something or return a component, then you have to return a single component. You can't return two things. So if I have a div and I have, say, I try to return another value, say, and it will complain. The JSX expression must have one parent element. This is the error that comes in, and the application did not reload because this is actually an error. So if you have multiple elements, say I did want to add an H3 here, then I would just wrap it one element. That H3 is also loaded. Hello heading, and we are back to where we started. Now this is something I'm seeing the possibility of nesting a component here. So what you can do is you can have components that contain other components. So when I look at this application that I'm trying to create, it will have two major components. It will have a title bar and it will have the body. Now inside the body, I will have multiple Pokemon cards. So let me try to make a component of the entire container of the body also. We go into components again. We create a file called, say, we call it Pokemon list or a grid. Let's call it a Pokemon grid. Components, we have the Pokemon grid. You don't need to specify the file name extensions here. When we're importing the Pokemon grid, we don't need to import the Pokemon card anymore. The Pokemon grid component will be doing that for us. Pokemon grid, Pokemon card is not defined. Let's import that. This is in the same directory. Okay, so now let's look at what we've done. We're again back to the main application. Inside the application, instead of these 2-3 lines, we actually had some 20 to 30 lines of HTML code, which we have replaced with just 2 components now. And inside those components, we have the respective HTML code. I also showed you how you can take a class component and convert it into a functional component. And I told you how to use these things, how to use the use state and use effect. This concept is called React hooks. So now that we have broken down our application into components, let's start working on those components.